Hi there, you're in the session for Tron price Wyckoff analysis. So we will look at both weekly and daily views as well as key support resistance levels. So let's dive right in. Here we're looking at the weekly chart of Tron, and previously I've drawn this white line. This used to be the support line for a pretty long period between March all the way to early June, and then the price broke below this line. Then it has become the resistance line ever since. And not only that, there is this pink resistance line at around 28-29 cents. Last week the price surge stopped right here, and this week the bulls and the bears are still battling around this line. This line is actually defined by the transition over the course of 2 weeks, this automatic reaction, that the drop from the blind climax, this over here, this overlapping, or like this gap between the two candle bodies, pretty much defined this. And also this wick has also defined the trading range between the pink and the purple line. That's 25 cents to 28, roughly 29 cents. That's basically where we are at, and that's the weekly. After the last point of supply, even though it's edging up a bit, because it has broken the support line, I would say unless we see clear accumulation, otherwise it's very challenging for us to see an upthrust that goes beyond the buying climax. Also, the volumes are not getting higher as well, they're staying pretty low. So that's the backdrop. Remember, we're at the late distribution stage, and let's go to the daily and see how it looks like. So last week we talked about this distribution cycle within the larger distribution cycle. There were some accumulation that happened between January all the way to May, and then we finally get to the point where the buying climax in the daily was in mid-June. There was a second test, a very quick one. Within 1 day the price shot up to around the buying climax level and immediately returned back to the accumulation. Not accumulation, I mean the sign of weakness level, the automatic reaction level. This moment in time, we're seeing this last point of supply, I would say, unless if this was actually an accumulation. That's why I say doing Wyckoff on the daily chart is way more challenging than on the weekly, because there are just too much noise. Some of these 1 day events, maybe someone big just tweeted something, just a line or two, and then it shocked the entire market, then that's why we have those noise. However, spread it across a week, that's easier to have those noise kind of suppressed or even out. Also, because the whales are working on a much longer time frame, so and analyzing on a daily chart itself, that's something I wouldn't do normally. It's for the community here. Anyway, if this is indeed the last point of supply, then what we would expect is some fluctuations follows. That's below this blue box over here. So let me extend a little. So at a certain point, if the price doesn't come back down, if it continues to stick to the edge of this box, then it will get to a level that's at or higher than this daily buying climax. So that's a price level at around 29 cents, almost 30 cents. the date would be mid of this month, almost 2 weeks from now. It will, if it doesn't come down, it will eventually reach that level, and that would make it an upthrust, maybe, if it goes all the way to this pink box, the top of the pink box at 30 cents. I'm not saying it's impossible. There is like this pretty strong green bar over here, the buying volume on the last day of June was double of the average volume we are seeing over the past 2 weeks. So that may be a strong sign that push it up, edging for an upthrust. That's one possibility. If people continue to support this price, then we'll eventually see that upthrust happening maybe after middle of this month, if the price continues to be like suppressed by this blue line. If it can just hold on for 2 more weeks, it will eventually get to that point. So it'll be interesting to see whether that will eventually like reviewed in such a way, given the red bars at the bottom. There's not much of a strong selling force the way I can see it. It's pretty average. For the past 7 days, the greens and the reds, basically green more than red, I would say, after this strong boost on the 30th. So let's keep an eye on how Tron is developing. From a daily perspective, it may be developing an upthrust. From a weekly perspective, it's still being suppressed by this trend line. So unless, if I extend this further, unless the support let it breaks through this pink line at around 28-29 cents, and eventually like found a little bit support, and by early mid-August it will reach the point where it can test the green line at around 32 cents. So let's see whether that would happen that way. Those are the possibilities I see. Unless there is a shock that comes to the market, then there's no more demand, or like the shock killed most of the demand, then it will be another story. Then